In this video, I'm going to show you some of my daily non-negotiable habits and routines as a single mom so that I can be productive, but also not sacrifice my well-being in the process. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Noelle and I help women create healthy, sustainable lifestyles even when life is going off the rails through my online fitness studio, NRS. So if any of this sounds useful to you, I'd love for you to subscribe and stick around. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about habits and routines, and I just want to preface this entire video by saying that your life and mine might look really different, and this is not a prescriptive for how your life should look. But I know I personally found little golden nuggets along the way when I get personal or more up-close glimpses into other women's lives that I've been able to implement into my own and has changed things for me. So maybe you'll resonate with this entire video, or maybe you're just going to take one or two of the practices that I have in here and play with those in your life. Regardless, I hope that you walk away with some added value after today. So one of the very first things that I do every day is that as soon as the phone rings and the alarm is going off, I put the phone down. It could be so tempting to want to react to all those little notifications that have been patiently waiting for me all night long. But I have found that this really disrupts my peace and actually throttles the anxiety up. So after the alarm goes off, my phone goes down and I don't pick it up again until I'm ready. The second practice that I have found really helpful is laying out clothes the night before. Now, this is something my parents made me do when I was a little girl, pretty much to just eliminate that argument that you're gonna have with your child over what clothes they're gonna wear the next day, especially when they're grumpy and groggy in the morning. But it really does work even as an adult. I have found that if my clothes are waiting for me, especially my workout clothes, I'm much more likely to get my workout in, and I'm much more likely to just get up and get on with my day. And it's such a helpful practice to implement with little ones. So my son will lay out his clothes. He gets to pick them out, but he lays them out the night before. And then in the morning, there's no talk or argument about what to wear or what's not clean or what's not washed, because we're prepped and we're ready from the night before. And the next thing I will do is usually grab a glass of water and just rehydrate myself. I am not into fancy lemon water or salt water or any of the fun things, but if that helps you and you want to add a little bit of lemon or salt to your water, go for it. I like to just keep things simple, grab a glass of water and rehydrate myself first thing in the morning. And the next thing is working out. If I am up before the sun, I will usually go ahead and get my workout in then. I have found that as a solo mom and an entrepreneur, that prioritizing my workout is absolutely vital to my well-being. I went through a rough few years where my cortisol was actually really out of control, and I felt like I was in a never-ending loop of a stress cycle. But learning how to move my body and listen to the cues it was giving me became life-changing. It helps me process a lot of those emotions and the added burden of what I carry every single day, but it also has helped me increase my window of tolerance so that I'm able to actually respond in a better way when stressors come into my life. Now, I am not the 5 a.m. morning mom routine, and I have found that just doing 2 times a week at 5:30 in the morning is actually really doable for me, and it doesn't completely defeat me. So I'm actually more successful about getting up and sticking with this routine because I know the rest of the week I'm gonna be getting my regular wake-up call at 6 a.m. And if I'm getting up at 6 a.m., then my workout is just bumped for after the school drop-off. Okay, this next one is one of my favorite ones because it has been so instrumental in my own health journey, and that is what I call a parasympathetic reset. I realized that because I was going straight from a workout into my to-do list that I really wasn't giving my body any sort of pathway to get out of a stressful state. And because of that, I ended up perpetuating a stress cycle, and it just continued on and on and on. And I was always low-key anxious and always feeling stressed out, even when there was nothing around me that was particularly stressful. So now after my workouts, I'll take about 5 to 10 minutes to support that transition from the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic. And all that means is that I'm going from that induced stress of the workout and allowing myself to down-regulate into that rest and digest state afterwards, so I can absorb all the work that I just did in the workout, can acknowledge what maybe my mind and body might need for the day, and I can move forward a little bit more peacefully. For me, that often looks like prayer and meditation, or there's some days where maybe it's breath work and just still slow stretching. But these few moments really allow me the space to regulate my nervous system so that I'm not running off of alarm bells for the rest of the day. So next up is basically getting my son out the door and getting him ready for school. And what I love about this is it ties so much into my evening routine because all of this is pretty much done for me the morning of. So all I have to do is grab his lunch that's already made in the fridge. I grab his clothes for him that are already laid out. His Chromebook's already been charged. Everything is pretty much ready to go. All I have to do is put it in his backpack and he's ready for his day. Now, making beds is a big priority for me in my house because I don't know about you, but there's nothing better for me than at the end of the day to dive into a cozy, fluffy bed. And there's just something so, that's self-care to me. I don't know how else to describe it other than that is just self-care. So I really prioritize that. First thing in the morning, as soon as I'm up, the bed is made. As soon as my little guy's up, bed is made, and we are moving on with our day with a bed that's ready for us for the evening. All right, so the next thing is the drive to school playlist. We have a very short drive to school, but I have found that there's a lot of power in music. And when I'm feeling groggy or grumpy in the morning, there is nothing more helpful than changing the atmosphere by changing the music. And even for my little guy, this can be so helpful for just setting the tone for our day. So on the way to school, we'll pick a couple songs that we really like. We'll let it just blast in the morning when it's still dark outside and have a little party in our car to really help set our day up to be the best that it could possibly be. Now, right now, as I come home from dropping him off from school, the sun is beginning to rise. We have very early drop-offs here for school. And when that switches, I kind of switch up my routines along with it. But for right now, this is when I will prioritize my morning sunlight because the sun's just coming up. I get that low level light in my eyes, helps me reset my circadian rhythm, helps me get better sleep at night, helps reduce my stress and anxiety. And it's incredible because first of all, it's completely free. All you have to do is walk outside and let the sunlight actually enter your eyeballs in the morning. And it has so many benefits in such a short amount of time. Literally 5 minutes in the sunlight in the morning is all you need to be able to have all of those awesome benefits. So it's something I definitely prioritize. And sometimes that means that I'm just sitting and taking in a few deep breaths while I'm enjoying a sunrise. And other times that might mean I'm grabbing the dog and we're going out for a quick walk to get some movement in, get his wiggles out, and then be able to come back to our day a little bit more calm and refreshed from that sunlight. All right, so this next one is actually getting ready for the day. Even though I work from home, I actually try to prioritize getting ready every single day. This does not always include makeup, and sometimes, just to be completely honest, it looks like changing out of one pair of sweats into another pair of sweats. But I do really try to prioritize this shift in the morning because it really helps me from a mental standpoint, being able to enter my day feeling like I'm more empowered and ready to tackle whatever's coming at me rather than just reacting to everything going on in my day. So even if that looks like a 5-minute makeup routine and changing into a fresh pair of clothes, it makes such a massive impact in my day. So I really try to prioritize moving out of that overnight uniform into something that I feel presentable for the day. Okay, breakfast is a non-negotiable for me, and maybe you are not a breakfast person and I totally cannot relate to you. I love breakfast, but I love breakfast because I can pack in a lot in just a small meal. So I like to try to get in my protein, carbs, and fat all in my breakfast, and this really helps me stay full and satiated through the rest of the morning. What I love about that is that, again, I work from home. It is so easy to snack all day long when it's accessible. But by having a nice, full, rounded meal, I help my body just shift into a place where it's got the energy that it needs, and I can go ahead and tackle my to-do list. And lastly, and maybe this is more of a priority for you than it is for me, is coffee. So after dealing with some rough anxiety a few years ago, I decided to go completely caffeine-free. At the time, I was just looking to decrease any excess stressors on my body, and I just knew that caffeine was not doing me any favors. And now, after balancing my hormones and doing some hard work, caffeine doesn't have the same negative effect on me like it used to, but I still prefer decaf coffee in the morning. I really love knowing that my body is not actually dependent on this substance to wake me up or give me energy, but that my body is actually producing all of that naturally for me. And I can just enjoy the ritual of making a cup of coffee and sipping on that through the rest of my morning. And I just want to say, if you are really struggling with anxiety, or you're having a hard time reducing stress and just cannot get your body out of that funk, I made a video all about stress cycles and what you can do to stop that endless loop. I've linked that for you right down below, so be sure to go ahead and grab that if that's something that you're dealing with. And if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, first of all, thank you so much for sticking around. That really means so much to me. And second, would you go ahead and drop a red heart emoji in the comments so that I know you made it and I can say hello to you personally? And if you found this video helpful and you're looking for more practical tools to create your own sustainable, healthy lifestyle, then I want to invite you to go ahead and check out my studio, NRS. Inside NRS, we really prioritize stepping onto our mat one way, but leaving it changed. So there, you're going to get daily workouts that are going to help you feel the way you want to feel, as well as practical tools and tips to help you build a well lifestyle for the rest of your life. And you'll be able to work with me, somebody who's been there and gets it, for practical help along the way. I've gone ahead and linked all the info for this studio as well, so be sure to check that out. But I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.